So it's the day after Thanksgiving. You got some mashed potatoes. What are we gonna make? Gnocchi. So what do we need for these gnocchi? 3 pieces of gold, maybe 2. I mean eggs, 3 eggs. 1 cup of flour per cup of potatoes. Ooh, maybe a little bit more. Pinch of salt and your potatoes. So let's make them. So we've weighed out 3 cups of potatoes. To that we're gonna add 3 eggs. It's gonna be more of like a feel thing than anything else. I'm just gonna mix these up real quick and then we'll add the flour. For that, we're gonna add a hefty pinch of salt. We'll taste it before we start cooking. So with our flour, we're gonna add it cup by cup just until we get the texture that we want. Try to keep it in the bowl. You don't want it to look like Scarface in here. Starting to come together now. It's almost like pie dough. So it's still a little sticky, so we're gonna have to add a little bit more flour. We're only gonna add half a cup this time, so we're 2.5 cups total right now. I hope you're not watching your carbs, because if you thought mashed potatoes were bad, woo, carb load. We're getting to the point to where it's more of a dough now than it is a mass of mashed potatoes. Now once it's incorporated, we're just going to let it chill out in the fridge for 15 or 20 minutes. So after about 20 minutes, the dough is now chilled and floured and ready to go. Now I'm just gonna roll this out into little cylinders, cut it up, get ready to cook. All right. Not just a little circle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut into 1/8, and that way we have a little bit more of a workable dough. You don't have to have a bench scraper to do this. You can use a knife. So there's 4. They don't have to be even either. You just want the final gnocchi to be around the same size. 1, 2, 4. Ta-da! I'm gonna start rolling these out. I don't want to hear any comments about what they look like. So, we're just gonna put them onto some parchment paper on a sheet tray. So we just finished cutting the gnocchi, and they are getting ready to get thrown into salted boiling water. If you didn't know, gnocchi should be cooked 2 ways every time you cook it. Obviously, you can just boil it and eat it with sauce, but there's another step that makes it just that much better. Once you're done boiling it, you throw it into a pan so you can crisp it up so it gets nice and brown. Adds more flavor, and then we get to eat it. Yep. So it's absolutely imperative that your boiling water is actually boiling. You don't want to throw it in there when it's just simmering, because the gnocchi will end up soaking up the water and then it'll just break apart. And a little hack, when you are preparing the gnocchi, if you're cutting it and putting it on a sheet tray like I did, you put a piece of parchment paper in there first. It'll be a lot easier to throw these in there without really making a mess or getting scalding hot water all over you. As you can see, now we just have to let them take a dip. Now once these are done, I'm gonna put them in a bowl just to hold until we're ready to actually cook in the other pan with the sauce and everything. I'm gonna dump some butter on them though, so that they don't stick together, and then they'll be even that more ready to brown up and get crispy. Now these don't take a long time to cook, and they'll float once they're ready to get pulled. Once they start coming up, they're probably getting close to being done. There's a couple in here floating, so probably another minute or so. A great tool to use for this, so that you don't have to pull this entire basket out. A nice little spider works perfect. If you don't have one of these, it works great for a lot of things. This, frying stuff, it's a good little tool. Smacking things. And then we'll do the other batch. We'll be ready to go. The butter I promised. Main thing in this step is that you don't want to overcrowd this pan, because we want to brown it. We don't want it just to steam things, and it'll just It'll be better if you don't overcrowd the pan. They're getting nice and crispy and brown, and we are just ready to, getting ready to pull them off. I'm gonna take a little bit of leftover spaghetti sauce. And just a little bit of pasta water. Kids, let this be a lesson. Use a ladle. Just take a couple scoops of this, right in your bowl. And by a couple, I mean 3, 10. Some of that goodness. There you go. And that's how you use leftover mashed potatoes to make gnocchi.